The forest was silent that morning, too silent. Officer Sarah Morgan thought it would be another routine patrol with her canine partner, Rex. But deep in the frozen woods, Rex suddenly stopped, his fur bristling, growling at something half buried in snow, a strange, moss-covered rock. "What is it, boy?" Sarah asked, but Rex didn't move. He barked again, louder this time, digging furiously at the ground. Then Sarah saw it, dark red stains seeping through the frost. Her stomach tightened. This wasn't an ordinary rock. What Rex had uncovered that morning would unravel a terrifying secret buried for years. One the forest was never meant to reveal. The forest was silent beneath a blanket of snow. Every branch, every fallen leaf was frozen in stillness, as if the woods themselves were holding their breath. Officer Sarah Morgan trudged through the frost-covered trail, her radio crackling softly at her side. Beside her walked Rex, her loyal canine partner, a massive German shepherd with sharp eyes and a nose that never failed. It was supposed to be a simple patrol, checking the outer perimeter for trespassers or lost hikers. But something about that morning felt different. The wind carried no birdsong, no sound of movement, only an eerie emptiness that made Sarah's skin prickle. Rex sniffed the air, ears twitching, his body tense. Sarah smiled faintly. "What is it, boy? A squirrel?" But Rex didn't move. His gaze locked onto something up ahead, a large, mossy boulder half buried in snow. Sarah frowned, following his stare. The rock looked ordinary, yet somehow wrong. Its shape was unnatural, almost too round, too smooth. Then Rex growled, a deep, low rumble she hadn't heard since their last dangerous case. The sound sent a chill crawling up her spine, whatever that was. It wasn't just a rock. Rex's growl deepened, echoing through the frozen air. The forest, quiet only moments ago, now felt alive, tense, listening. Sarah tightened her grip on the leash. "Easy, boy," she whispered, but Rex wasn't listening. He crouched low, fur bristling, and started barking fiercely at the strange stone ahead. The sound bounced between the trees, sharp and urgent. Sarah winced. "Rex, what's wrong with you?" But he only barked louder, pawing at the snow near the base of the rock. Each bark carried that distinct canine tone, not fear, not aggression, but alert. The kind that meant something's here. She approached cautiously, her boots crunching through the snow. The rock loomed taller now, covered in patches of green moss and ice. From a distance, it looked harmless, but up close, Sarah noticed deep cracks running through it, and a faint metallic smell that made her stomach twist. Rex began digging, snow flying in frantic bursts. Sarah tried to pull him back, but he resisted, whining, eyes wide and desperate. "Rex, stop," she ordered. He didn't. Then she saw it, a dark streak beneath the ice, smeared across the stone. Red, faint, but unmistakable. Her breath caught. Blood. The peaceful patrol had just turned into something far more dangerous. Sarah's pulse quickened. The bloodstain on the rock wasn't fresh, but it was real, dark, frozen, and unmistakable. She crouched beside it, brushing away a layer of snow. "Rex," she whispered, "what did you find, boy?" The dog continued digging, pawing through ice and dirt with fierce determination. His growls grew deeper, more urgent. Her instincts screamed that this wasn't an animal's doing. She reached for her radio. "Dispatch, this is Officer Morgan. Possible evidence found near the North Trail. Requesting backup and forensics." Her breath came in quick clouds. The forest felt heavier now, the silence pressing against her ears. Then Rex barked, loud and sharp. He had uncovered something. Sarah leaned closer and froze. A scrap of torn fabric clung to a root beneath the snow, faded blue, like denim, with a jagged edge soaked dark red. Her mind raced. There had been a missing hiker last winter, a young man who vanished near this area. Could this be him? Rex pawed again, and something metallic clinked against a rock. Sarah brushed the snow aside, a rusted keychain with engraved initials. Her heart sank. She looked at Rex, his eyes locked on hers, unblinking, as if to say keep going. And in that moment, she knew. This wasn't just a random discovery. Rex had just reopened a mystery the town thought was long buried. Within minutes, the quiet forest turned into a crime scene. Blue lights flashed faintly through the trees as backup arrived, officers moving cautiously through the snow. Sarah stood near the strange stone, her breath forming white clouds as she briefed the arriving team. "We've got blood traces, torn fabric, and possible human remains beneath the soil. Proceed carefully." Rex stood beside her, tail stiff, eyes fixed on the rock as if guarding something sacred. When the forensic team began digging, he barked sharply, one bark, then another, each one perfectly timed, guiding them where to look. An officer brushed away snow and froze. "Ma'am," he whispered, "you need to see this." Sarah stepped forward. Beneath the layer of ice, a shape was beginning to emerge. The curve of a shoulder, fragments of a jacket sleeve, the unmistakable outline of a body. Everyone fell silent. "Dear God," one officer muttered. The sight was grim. The body had been deliberately hidden. Rope tied at the wrists. Soil packed tight, moss covering every inch. Sarah swallowed hard, forcing her voice steady. "Mark the area. Secure the perimeter. No one leaves this site." Then Rex suddenly growled again, pulling toward the nearby trees. Sarah followed him with a flashlight, and that's when she saw them. Strange carvings etched into the bark. Circles, lines, and a symbol that looked almost ritualistic. A cold shiver ran down her spine. This wasn't just murder. It was something darker, something planned. And the forest was keeping more than one secret. Snow began to fall again, soft but relentless, blanketing the horror they had just uncovered. Sarah stood near the excavation site, arms folded tightly, trying to steady her nerves. The forest, once peaceful, now felt like a living thing, breathing, watching. The forensic team collected evidence while Rex paced in circles, nose low to the ground, restless. "He's not done," Sarah murmured. She unclipped his leash, and instantly he darted toward the deeper woods, barking sharply. Sarah followed, her flashlight cutting through the mist. After a few hundred feet, Rex stopped near another cluster of rocks, sniffing frantically. Sarah knelt beside him and found more markings carved into the soil. Only this time, there was something else, an old photograph, half buried in wet. She pulled it out carefully. It showed a young man smiling with a backpack slung over his shoulder, the same hiker who had gone missing last winter. On the back, scrawled in shaky ink, were two chilling words, "Not alone." Sarah's stomach turned. She radioed headquarters, voice tight. "The victim's ID confirmed. There's more out here. Possibly connected disappearances." Rex barked again, 3 sharp times, facing the darkness ahead. Sarah raised her flashlight, her breath fogging in the cold, somewhere deeper in the forest. Someone had been waiting. The next morning, the forest was crawling with investigators. Overnight, Rex had led them to an area farther north, a patch of ground that looked ordinary at first glance, but concealed something far worse. Beneath layers of snow, officers uncovered a hidden trapdoor, camouflaged with leaves and frozen dirt. When they pried it open, the stench of decay rolled out like a wave. Inside was a bunker, walls lined with old photographs, maps, and newspaper clippings about missing people. Boxes of personal belongings were stacked neatly, trophies from those who never made it out of the woods. The evidence was undeniable. A serial predator had been using the forest for years. Days later, the suspect was caught, a reclusive hunter who lived nearby. Blending in unnoticed for decades, Sarah stood beside Rex at the crime scene tape, wind cutting through the trees. She knelt, running her hand over his head. "You found them, buddy," she whispered. Rex let out a low whine, then rested his head against her knee. Sometimes heroes don't wear badges. They bark until the truth is heard.